Notebook. Good evening.
Now we're going. Good to
Now we're
see all
going.
of you. Had
Hello.
had a couple of people message me they weren't going to be on tonight, so they'll get on the recordings. And want to do a quick little recap. I got a couple things I want to share with you, and then I want to go over some of the information I just got. I was just on. I had to like get to the gym and get out early because we had a 4 o'clock my time corporate call, and got a lot of notes on it. It's about promotions for the upcoming year. And you guys, I mean, I got to tell you, if you want to play at a high level, and that's really what I've been talking about, or my intentions and how we were been setting up the last couple of weeks. If you want to play at a high level, there's a lot of money on the table for you, but it's not contests for the mediocre. Okay, and so this is what my intention is. I already shared with you from last week, and actually, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do. Okay, I review what I said, and honestly, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I got to tell you, if you're not reviewing these sessions that Kate and Brian have put so much energy into this, creating the YouTube channel for the replays and that sort of thing. From this was from last week. Now, from here to here were my notes. From here to here was my review. Okay, that first section is what I'd prepared to spend time speaking with you, and literally 2.5 times the amount of space, maybe 3 times the amount of space was taken up reviewing what I shared with you, because that's the only way I can tell what I did, is to review what I said. And just between me and you, some damn good stuff in there. So if you're, I'm not a real fond proponent of wasting time. Okay, there's so much stuff that comes across my desk that's valuable stuff, that I can pick up things from. I'm not gonna tell you I learn a lot that's really new, but whether it be, Darren Hardy, Big Al, some of the other people that I follow, I learn from reviewing stuff that is, frankly, has gone away, and I need to bring it back, if I'm going to play at the level that I want to play. So I encourage you, if you haven't been doing so, it would be worth your effort. Now, don't spend 30 minutes reviewing this week's video, during productive hours, when you could be sharing the product, sharing the opportunity, sharing the story. But I think it would be of value to you to go back through it, because, if I am unaware of everything that I shared, and I'm the one that was sharing it, how much more are you going to benefit from going through and reviewing and metabolizing the information? It's something that's a training that I got from Larry Thompson years ago. You can, give somebody the food. They can sit there and eat it, but none of that's an issue if they can't metabolize it. Okay, got to be able to metabolize the food. And so that's what I'm encouraging you to do. If you can imagine that, you may have to go through 2 or 3 times to actually get the nourishment from the food and bring it into you. So where we left off last week, we started, the week before defining, who is that masked man? Ernest, I mean, listen, kudos for doing the deal, but we're pretty socially distanced here. Okay, so it's up to you. Hey, listen, I wear a mask to make people feel comfortable too. Okay. Oh, I scared them away. All right, now, last week I left you with the second component. First component was to reestablish why you're here and make it so significant that it would cause you to work at a much higher level. See, again, I'd love to spend time with people with, mediocre goals and mediocre desires and the second and third string players. Okay. And I could, okay, but I'm not going to. There's too much work to be done. It, you know, I am going to be operating at the highest level of my capacity. I encourage each one of you to do the same thing. And when we talked about goals, I shared some of my goals with you. Okay. However, that doesn't mean it's your goals. Okay. I cannot shoot for $100,000 a year. Okay. There's no meaning to that. Okay. There's no value to that. There's nothing motivational. There's nothing inspirational to me to shoot for that. Okay. I can't even shoot for $500,000 a year. Okay. Been there, done that. There's no meaning to it. That doesn't mean it's your goals. Okay. What are your goals? But make them significant. Why do anything? Why be part of the 97%? 97% of the world aspires to mediocrity, to get by, to have enough. All right. Enough for who? Enough for you. Okay. The 3%, and I'm being generous here, but the 3%, they aspire to greatness. And if you're going to play this game of life, why not aspire to greatness? Why aspire to what the 97% are going to get no matter what? To me, it's just not worth playing the game. Okay. It's like, my son, I never rode dirt bikes. My son did. And he said, hey, listen, if you don't come off that bike at least once during the day, then you weren't really doing the deal. Now I'm not sure I should say this, but with my first BMW, the run to Santa Barbara to see my buddy Jersey, if I didn't tag six figures, or six figures, three, triple digits, wasn't worth driving. With the M6, if I don't tag 120 somewhere on that road, why bother? Right? Robin's going, hey, I'm safe. I'm just not slow is all, right? I pick and choose where I do the deal. So again, the first step was, establish why you're here, make that significant, play all out. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You won't hit the mark. That's the worst thing, but you're still way ahead of everybody else because nobody else is aspiring to go to greatness. Okay. Last week I left you with the second step. Okay. What are you willing to do to achieve your goals? Because be real clear on this. The 3% of our world that control 97%, and I'm not just talking wealth, of everything. 97% of the first class seats, 97% of the nice cars, 97% of the dream vacations. Okay. Those people do not achieve that spending their life doing what everybody else does. It's easy to be a 97%er. Just don't change. Okay. But if you want to have something of significance, you've got to change. That's just all there is to it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys, because if you're going to play with the A team, guess what? You don't want it to be sugarcoated. You want to know exactly what you got to do. And one more time, this doesn't mean that your goal is $500,000 or $1 million a year. Your goal might be $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month. And if that makes you a 3%er in your book, then that's what you go for. Okay. And when you hit that, then move it up again. Okay. Never, 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 never be satisfied with what you did yesterday. And all I can tell you is when life is done, you will have no regrets, because you did everything you could to be somebody of significance. Now, what are you willing to do? Okay. And there's two components to that. You got to have goals. That was the first step, that are worth achieving. Because if you recognize that you're going to have to do something to achieve them, you want to have high level goals to justify what you're willing to do to achieve those goals. Got to have something really high here to make it worth the effort. Now, what are you going to be willing to commit to? Okay. What is the time you're willing to commit? And be very clear. You can't achieve something. It's like, you know, people have a brand new baby. You know, what's your commitment to the baby? We'll play with it for a little while. If, you know, if everything works out, we'll keep it. Nah, you know, you can't win that way. It's all out everything. That was my initial motivation to get multi-level. I was going to do whatever it took, so long as it was legal, ethical, and moral. And honestly, that might have even been a little fudge there if I had to do it. But I was going to do whatever it took to help my son succeed at whatever level he could. Not what I wanted him to do, but what he was capable of. That was my responsibility. So what are you willing to commit to in terms of time? You know, I love how Jim Rohn says, farmers do not go bowling in the spring. Farmers don't go bowling in the fall. You're planting in the spring, you're harvesting in the fall. They go bowling in the winter. That's why they call it winter bowling leagues. Ain't no fall bowling leagues in Kansas. Why? Because all I got's farmers and they're harvesting. All right. So what are you willing to commit to time-wise? And make it a significant commitment. Again, you're not going to achieve anything of significance unless you are significant. What are you willing to commit to in terms of personal development? Now I'm going to share this with you. I just made a commitment to a $3,000 personal development course. Now I'm not suggesting that you guys dump $3,000 on this course. Okay, you may not be in a position to do it, but I picked this one up right away, picked it up from Jim Rohn. Okay, you have to be willing to commit your time and your resources to your personal development. In the beginning, the time and resources for me was to simply get the gas to get to the meeting where I could get the training. Okay, and that included sometimes gas instead of food, right? Had to skip. I was about to say McDonald's. You know, I ate some pretty crappy stuff back in the day. Okay, I didn't know any better. But you know, sometimes it meant committing the gas money instead of the food money to get to the training. As money started to become available, it was committing the 10 or 15 bucks to a book, audio cassette taped course, and then it got to be $100 for a big audio cassette tape course. You got to be willing to commit to your personal development. Now, I got some suggestions for you. Okay, Big Al. You guys are familiar with? Big Al's the only thing that's coming to my head. Are you familiar with Big Al?
Yeah.
Okay. Robin, talk to Kate. Okay, she is. Big Al. David did a presentation with him, years ago. He's got some really good stuff because he talks. His work is about communication, how to share things with people in a way that causes their brain to open up. I mean, I've learned a lot from that. And his books are really cheap. He does. Have you ever been on? Are you on his mailing list, Kate? By any chance?
No, it's Brian that's more familiar with him than I am.
We have a book.
We have one of his books.
Okay, you can get on his mailing list. I'll see if I can't get that for you. And they do free webinars. Okay, and they do them on a weekly basis. And of course, they're feeders for their master class, which is usually 2 or 3 weeks long for 39 bucks. Okay, and all I can tell you is if you are not yet a master of communication and prospecting and mentoring your team members and creating motivation and inspiration, a $39 2 or 3 week masterclass is a small investment. You'd be willing to commit to that. Okay, you commit to investing in a lot of things for yourself, for your family, for your home. Commit to this for your future. Okay, and I have to step up to the plate and put my money where my mouth is at. And I had an opportunity to be enrolled. It was like $29.95 or $3,000 bucks. Okay, and it's almost a year-long class, and I want to be involved in that. And the class is on leadership. And so, you know, what you commit to, you're going to get a return from. You know, love free stuff. I'm going to give you as much free stuff as possible. But the fact of the matter is, what you commit your money to is what you're going to do. So what are you going to commit to time? What are you going to commit to personal development? What are you committing to eliminating? See, this is the part people have a hard time with. What are you willing to give up? Okay. You know, I hesitate to think how much time every single person spends watching TV. Okay. Television is chewing gum for the brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes you feel like you're doing something, but you're not doing a damn thing. So what are you willing to give up? Here's one. Who are you willing to give up? I remember very, very clearly when I first started my first multi-level, it was my pattern to spend, you know, weekends hanging out with my buddies. And what I realized was that that was not where my time was going to take care of my son. I didn't eliminate my friends. Okay, but I did eliminate a lot of the time that I spent with them because they weren't going where I was going. They could bring no value to my future. And it wasn't a, you know, a mercenary or monetary kind of thing. My focus was taking care of my son. The why I had to be successful was so great. These were the things I was willing to give up. Now, it didn't mean I stopped seeing them completely. I just didn't see them all the time. There was no longer every, you know, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever. Okay. Sleeping over till Sunday morning because I shouldn't be driving home kind of stuff, right? I was a much younger man back then. Now I can drive home. It's a big difference between an amateur drunk and a professional drunk. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, that your assignment from last week was, what are you willing to do to achieve your goals? And I put a little bit more meat on that, on those bones for you. Okay. Now, and I'll certainly entertain any questions you've got about that. But let me get this covered because I am going to leave right at the top of the hour. Got off this corporate Zoom. They laid out the program or the first 6 months promotions for this upcoming year. I'm going to do something with Pat in terms of you know, a training on that and that sort of thing. I'm still trying to digest it because I'm going to be real candid with you. For whatever reason, my brain is still trying to wrap itself around the comp plan and that sort of thing. And I'm usually good at this stuff, so I don't know what the deal is there. But here's what you do need to know. For those of you that want to play at a higher level, they're going to put a ton of money in your pocket. We're talking like, you know, $5 grand a month. Okay, participating in pools of, you know, $200,000 per month. Hey, Deb, and you can get a piece of that, up to $5 grand a month. Now, there's even more money on the table, like 20 grand or 25 grand a month. But that's going to be for people that are already at pretty high levels. And I don't think there's a great justification at this moment to invest a lot of time there. But every single one of you can be participating in that first tier. $5 grand a month over 6 months, that's $30,000. Who wants an extra $30,000? Yeah. Me too. I can use an extra $30,000. I always use an extra $30,000. Excuse me. So the key right now for you, I want you to do two things and get, you know, and you know, do this now. All right. That way, and start familiarizing yourself. Go into the Isogenics business website, look at the promotions. You want to familiarize yourself. There's training on there too, on the Leaders in Action worksheet. This is going to be key. Now, I've always loved this. When I saw this, what this really is, this is the roadmap, the guide to correct activities. You get points for personal enrollments. You get double the amount of points for personal enrollments of your people in your first and second level. That's team building. Okay, you got to have people that are building in your team. So what that means, you got to go out and personally enroll. You got to get a customer in. you got to talk to them about, would you like to get your product for free? Because they can become a team builder. And if they get a couple of customers, let's talk to them. Would you like to get your product for free? And if they get a couple of customers, you know the deal. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 30. Somewhere in there, you're going to find a customer who wants to go beyond just getting their product for free or offsetting some of their costs. They're going to want to build a business. It may not be immediately, but when they see they're starting to make some money, they may actually come back and say, how do I do this at a higher level? Okay, so it's not going out and recruiting, a Fred Holmes, a Brian Ridgely, whatever. Okay, it's about starting with the basics. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach others to do the same. So, you get a point for personal enrollments. You get 2 points for when you help a team member on your first and second level recruit somebody. Personally enrolled rank advancements when you can help your new person get to, to hit not consultant, but go to, manager, director, and so on. You're going to be getting more points. And then for your own personal, active position, okay, you get even more points. All this does is this puts you in a position to get yourself to director and executive. Now, that's where the money's going to be made. And so each one of you needs to set a goal and it's going to be for 6 months, starting on the 28th of December. That's the beginning of the Isogenics. That's January 1, if you will, for the Isogenics commission calendar. Now, I don't have it handy. You need to look for the Isogenics commission calendar. Their commission calendar doesn't correspond to the direct calendar, but their commission calendar is where all of these points will be accumulated during that time frame. And so get yourself the Isogenics commission calendar, because it runs like from the 28th of December. That's where it will start, and then it runs for, I don't know. Honestly, I can't figure that one out. So I just get the calendar, and then I'll just mark the days. Those 2 things you need to get in your hands right away. Sometime between now and the end of the month, probably in the next week or so. Pat and I are going to put together a training. Actually, she messaged me privately during this corporate Zoom meeting. I need your help putting something together for the team. Sure. And of course, what I say, absolutely. Now, what does that mean? I'll have to figure it out. But the good news is I'll figure it out. So get those 2 things, leader in action, go back and revisit why you need to be here. See if you need to adjust those goals a little bit, adjust the why part to force you to play at a higher level. I'm just sitting here, I'm watching Debbie, and I can tell that right now this is about, midnight for Debbie. And she's sitting there, I can tell she's tired. She starts her day at 3 or 4 in the morning. And you know what she's doing? She's taking notes, and she's committing to play at a high level. And I got to tell you, Debbie, I'm excited because you make that decision to play at an extremely high level. You better get out of her way. Okay, I'm just telling you, you better get out of her way. Terry's so lucky he married you. No, I'm serious. He don't want to work the rest of his life. You're going to take care of him. She knows that. All right, so get that in the calendar, and let's take a couple of minutes. Any questions on what we've been talking about? Anything I can help with right now?
I think you were covered everything really thoroughly, and I think what I'm going to do is start looking in the back office under the Isogenics business and look for that commission calendar and plan it all out.
Look at the promotions tab. They said that this is going to be posted fairly soon. In the process of looking for that calendar just now, I saw a whole lot of additional training I was completely unaware of. and the Isogenics business website. Okay, it can only be helpful to you. But take some time this week. Okay, double check why you're here. See if you don't need to find more significant reasons why you need to be successful. Force yourself to live up to what you can be. And then secondly, most of you probably already did this because you guys are really good about that. Last week's assignment was, what are you willing to do to achieve those goals? And maybe you should revisit that again. Okay, see if there isn't something you need to either commit more to it or be more serious about what you're cutting out of your life to live up to the levels of the 3%. Because honestly, every single one of you has that capacity. Every single one of you has the capacity to be somebody of significance. And that's one, because I know who you are. I know what you've done. And in the real world, when you take the attributes that caused you to achieve what you've done in your life and you simply focus them, then you can do things that will amaze and astound you, amaze and astound your friends. You already got the right stuff. What I'm talking about is taking that magnifying glass and concentrating it. Had my prop handy, didn't I? All right, you guys, we're right about there. Anything else for right now?
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
Be
Thank you,
looking
Fred.
through the organization and
Thank you, Fred.
look for the people that are worthy of your time. Okay, look for the people that you want to bring on your journey. They may not be in your organization now. What a great lead in to a first contact. I'm doing a program that's going to create true significance and prosperity, and I want to have you with me. Are you open to hearing about what could change your life? Say it with sincerity. Only go after the people that you really want. This is one of the hardest things to do in life, is to understand. Only 3% of the population will be in the 3%. Okay? You can't drag everybody with you. However, be very clear. The 97%ers, I was one. Okay, I was way deep down in the 97%. I just chose to be in the 3%. This is the rarest. Multi-level marketing is the most beautiful thing in the world because it is the rarest opportunity in the world where anybody in the 97% can achieve the top 3%. They just have to want to. Okay, it's a choice because you're here tonight. That's all I need to know that you have the capacity to achieve that level of significance in your life. So with that, great to see all you guys. And I'm looking forward to reviewing what I just said too. I hope it's as good as I thought it was.
Thanks, Fred.
All right, good to see you guys. Call on me if you need me, okay? Don't hesitate to pick up the phone. I will always find a way to find time to speak with you, all right? See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you.
Right.